It went up
100% change from previous.
Okay, that's a pretty big jump.
Yeah, I mean that's
already
nuts.
Yeah,
okay,
it went from
so
50,000 to
all right.
980,000.
Someone in the chat, let me
Well,
know
that's
when
the
the
change.
Carl
You know, the
Icahn.
current short would be what the
Oh,
what the
sorry,
interest
you're
would be.
right. You're right. I'm sorry. The
But
current
the change is an important number, and the change
Yes.
from previous is striking to me.
All right. Someone, we appreciate
right,
having you
guys.
on the show, man.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, for sure.
See you later.
All right, see you, man.
Tune in.
Pains me, man. It's like nobody knows where the fuck this money's at. Okay, nobody, no one fucking person besides Carl Icahn knows where the fuck his money's at. Because bitch better have my fucking money, man. Let's go ahead and bring in Realize and let's see what's going on. Chat, please give a warm welcome to Realize as we pick his brain tonight on some various topics, man. Realize what's going on.
What's up,
Love
fellas?
the background, dude.
Thank you.
How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Good. Just waiting for GameStop to take over Bed Bath and Beyond and Baby. And
is that where? Okay, so you think that? Do you think Carl Icahn is involved in any of this shit, or you think that do you think he's fronting the money? Do you think he is involved, not involved? What do you think, man?
Yeah, I think he's involved to an extent as some kind of limited partner. And actually, Edwin is working on something right now. He pulled up some interesting figures. I was talking to him yesterday. We were looking at, among other things, GME's balance sheet of $1.39 billion available in Q4, which increased from Q3 substantially. And then it was interesting too because actually, and I saw this on the pitch book, on one of the latest pitch book images, but they showed Baby as a merger subsidiary or whatever, and there was something in one of the filings about a subsidiary thing too. But that was listed on the pitch book as 1.44 billion, which is right around the 1.39 billion that GameStop has in cash. Not that they would use all of it, unless they used. They could use like half of it and leverage, like a 5x leverage, which would be half the typical in an LBO, which is like a 9-to-1.
Yeah.
And still be able to cover it, I guess, because that would be 700 times. That would be well above it. Yeah, times 5, that'd be 3.5 billion. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I've thought it was always Cohen's primary deal. I still do. Yeah, I think there's some involvement going on as well. But the 300 million from Victory going through Dragonfly at the same time as the money from Caterton for the 500 million from MMA back in March, and then Cohen being on the pipe, which everybody's like, oh, Cohen's on a pipe. It's like, yeah, we've been talking about that for a month and a half, which seems to indicate that the very pipey deal that ran through Hudson and the investor, which was unnamed still, is related to that, either an affiliate of Cohen or Cohen himself. And then the IP going to Minnesota, of all places, where GameStop's IP headquarters is located with GameStop Inc. So yeah, I think there was a talk of Newell for a while. It's like, oh, this is Newell's deal. Oh, that fell through. Oh, now it's IEP's deal. And it's like, oh, this is obvious it's IEP because they're being short and stuff. But the thing you got to consider too, and this is what Edwin's working on, apparently there's something to do with, like Icahn gave Brett a lot of money to manage at different points, and he kind of renewed it and offered him to kind of take over the company at some points of time. But I think what Edwin has found was, like, for Brett could put up like 7 million, and then like Icahn can give him like 39 times that, which comes out to like $280 million, which is right under that 300 million mark. So I think there's something involved there, maybe. And if you look at the actual filings of the bankruptcy filings too, as far as the interest party goes, you have Ryan Cohen's name right there. We don't have any direct tie to Icahn, except Edwin's piece seems to suggest that some of the actual DIP financing, or the secured lending, or the secured part, somehow or maybe related to Icahn through Prosecure, which Prosecure, they got a head over there, and that guy used to be on BBBY's board, 2-time super lawyer of the year in New York in like 2012, 2013. So he could be helping out on this deal. And then there's ties to Prosecutor was on IEP's offerings, the 1.2 bill from July, right after Friedman put in that disclosed his stake in the bonds and his share ownership. Well, he disclosed his bond ownership a little earlier, I think, maybe. But then also, with the 400 mil that Icahn added later in November, November 21, which a lot happened on November 21, including Volition's $650 million securities offering out of the 675 million, which of course they said, to 2023 and beyond. And of course, him being on the board of GameStop, Chang, and the relationship with as well with Protocol Gemini, and their tweet, the timing of it, which we've gone over. It's not just them talking about the stock or the stock pumping because it already dropped in the aftermarket. 44 minutes before the Wall Street Journal dropped the article officially. So anyway, I'm actually doing a timeline right now. I'm gonna do a little audio book. I'm gonna try to make it interesting. I'm gonna do like you guys ever play the game LA Noire?
Yeah. What about it?
I'm just, it's going to be like a 35 minute audio of kind of like a timeline. And I think the timeline, when I share it, it'll be, everybody, has their own opinion of what's going on, but at least it's going to be a little influenced by my take on why I think, Cohen's primarily involved in this GameStop. But I'm going to try to make it a little more entertaining by adding some the jazz music found in that game. And then, maybe with some detective.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
Change up my voice a little bit,
Yeah.
If I can pull off a detective voice, I don't know. Whoop-ass keeps telling me I need to be a private eye. So
yeah, dude, you should, man. You do your fucking homework, man. That's for sure. So as we look at IEP, realize we see that, also just so you guys know in the chat, or just so you guys also know on here as well, they said that the Carl Icahn 147/741 picture did come out on 4/28. So that's actually very interesting. That was the date that you said it increased, right? Travis?
Isn't that the day
I'd have to look. Let me
we
look.
filed for bankruptcy?
23rd was bankruptcy.
23rd?
Yeah, 23rd.
28th was, I thought, some kind of date for Bed Bath. I'm not sure. Maybe
so
the day we delisted?
No, delisting was May 2nd, May 3rd.
So 28th was, I believe, some date. I don't know why it sticks out in my mind. But something with Bed Bath might have happened on the 28th.
Right. But while Travis is looking for that, 4/28 also is when we had the S1 withdrawal.
Maybe that was it.
Oh.
Okay. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any pickup around that date on
Okay.
IEP. Now,
yeah.
Bed Bath, I'm looking.
4/28 was the Icahn talk show when he did the interview.
Yeah, it's real interesting stuff,
anything.
Okay. Because realize, man, IEP's down 53% in 1 month, man. This is a guy who owns, again, almost 90% of his fucking company and his stock, right?
if you look,
I find it hard to believe that 14 billion evaporated into thin air. Obviously, he's not selling, right? Because we would see filings for it. Unless there's some kind of deal. And remember, on his one of his filings that we saw a couple months back, there was something that was omitted from it, right? That was it was, I can't remember. It was non-public information or something like that. I don't know if necessarily that's interconnected, with here. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But what are your thoughts, man? $14 billion. That's a big fucking number, even for shorts, to be able to short a company with, again, who's someone who owns 90% of their own stock.
I think ABC might have, some good points on there on what could be occurring, but also I think it could be a diversionary tactic because, and like Icahn doesn't seem shaken by this. He said, this is part of the business. If you got a problem with it, you shouldn't be in this business.
Right.
I think, for one thing, it's like if you actually look at IEP over the course of COVID, it was trading like a value stock, like a Coke or whatever.
Right.
And like a lot of the stuff, we saw stuff with Square After that period go 3-4x or more. Actually, it was like 20. Did it do like a 10x?
Mhm.
I don't know. So like, I mean, if you think about it, yeah, it's volatile, but at the same time, like we've also had a lot of volatility with the banks recently, and you know, it could actually be a predictor of sorts of things to come. They could have, you know, we might be seeing some kind of market crash soon, and they could have just basically front ran IEP a little bit um, to try to say naughty because he's involved in this deal, which, you know, I mean, the funny thing is that this Bed Bath deal could be pretty major, and it could be related to, oops, CIA's on my door, J.P. Morgan, and them, you know, dropping off or severely, you know, which, I mean, they have a lot of power,
Right.
or a lot of the major banks that are intertwined with this deal.
Mhm.
So, as silly as it might sound to some, you know, a big run, you know, could really have these kind of effects that, you know, kind of the stuff you read about, maybe browsing some forums, and you might kind of go, okay, yeah, sure, and you know, maybe that day is closer than some could imagine.
Right.
So, I mean, you know, with that in mind, you know, you could anything could happen with anything even tangentially related to this. You know, either as a diversion or because it's some part of the deal. There's a lot of, I mean, yeah, the stock got cut in half in value, but we saw, I mean, it's we're starting to see a lot of the volatility everywhere else as well. So, to some extent,
Real quick, let me.
it'll be interesting what Edwin comes up with, because I think he's onto something. I think he was onto something good with his last post, and we, even if some of the particulars are not 100% correct, like as far as the units or whatever, and it'll be interesting to see what he comes up with, because some of those numbers are really peculiar.
Right.
You know that, and the 2.88 billion on the February 9th EX filing. That the baby deal on the pitch book was exactly half that amount. I mean, 1.44 times 2. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's 2.88.
Right.
So that is peculiar. And, you know, like, okay, so that was related to the share offerings or whatever, which isn't on the table anymore, chapter 11th, but obviously that's some type of valuation that's tied into this. And bottom line is it's all interesting stuff, but I mean, I'm just chilling because I know we're not fucked. I mean, that's my belief.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, all right, let's go. Like, we got like a month to go, and then I'm already playing Eddie Money's Welcome to Paradise. I'm an elder millennial, y'all. So it is what it is. I've had to listen to a lot of the classic rock on loop.
Cool.
When I didn't have a CD or anything, but yeah, I'm just enjoying the ride.
Love to hear it. Real quick, I want to read this off. We got 5 fucking memberships, man, from Pink Flamingo again. Wow, man, appreciate the fucking love tonight. Wow. If you got a membership gifted from Pink Flamingo, be sure to use those emojis, man. Yeah, it's real interesting stuff. Realize. I'm gonna hang on one second. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Plural real quick, and then we have another guest backstage that we'll bring in just a moment. So chat, please welcome the gentleman Plural, man. Plural, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? ABC, PPCs, Pete the Pilot,
What's up, Plural?
Travis the Stripper, and realize you you actually know me as Scare Bears, but it's being Plural.
Oh. Yeah, man, that was quite the find you had the other day.
Oh, with the laugh club stuff.
I was like, how did he find that, man?
Yeah.
I looked. I was like, oh, it had to have been Google image reverse search, and then sure enough, I pulled up a few, but none of them linked to that page.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, you know, what ended up happening is the Discord in which you have been invited to, and you kindly rejected the offer. They're really good at posting things like on the minute, every minute, 24 hours, 7 days a week. And as soon as it popped up, the image was like so small and smushed, you could see that yellow square with a mouth. And I saw it said The Laugh, and then I just started searching images and everything until I found The Laugh Club, and then, you know, it's just you start opening up the onions and stuff like that.
Right. Mo Money with the $2, man. I feel like I am 8 foot tall when I'm watching Plur. Yeah, where do you put your phone at? Out of curiosity, is it on your fridge or something?
It is, man. Is that better? I don't know. I'm not sure.
No, you look great, man.
I had to push it down.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Real quick, before we get into the DD, we do have AJ backstage, man. He has a quick question for everybody. So, chat, man, please fucking give a warm welcome to AJ. Welcome, man. AJ, what's
up,
going
guys?
on, man?
How's it going?
Hey,
Good to see
AJ.
you, man.
What's up,
You
Pete?
shaved
I'm
the
glad you're
beard.
here, man. PP, I'm glad you keep Pete here. We need these grumpy realists.
For sure, man.
AJ,
No,
thank you.
I like Pete. I like Pete.
Thank you for your correspondence on Reddit, bro. I've been trying this wheel thing out, and
Yeah, and IEP has already been dropping, right? You're already fucked, right?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
At least I got the premiums, right? At least I
Yeah.
get my premiums. It's a way to be
Exactly.
fucked less, right, AJ?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still bullish, so whatever.
Me too.
What
I'm going to buy
what
into it
question do you
too.
have?
But here's my
Okay, go ahead.
question for you guys. So my idea of a perfect resolution has always been you've got to reward the early buyers. And one way you can do that for the guys who are stuck at $20 a share is for an abnormally high buyout price. You know, let's say something crazy like $50 a share. You know, it would cost an enormous amount of money, correct? But I've always thought that these things are sort of a battle of algos. And like, if you look back at the GME situation, all the shorts should have been positioned. You want to be positioned to get out before you get killed, right? And they didn't. They weren't able to exit quickly enough. That's why they lost so much money. So if you can, if the long side has a plan where they know they can run the stock faster than the shorts can exit and they can make a certain amount of profit, even though, let's say it's Icahn who's buying it, even though he's going to spend $20 billion to buy this, you know, company that's down in the dumps right now, you can then take those profits and then invest in his company. You're sort of sharing the wealth. You're operating with like one bankroll, and you're moving these large amounts of money around just to trigger short positions, and you're making your profit off of the shorts and trying to, you know, just kind of keep an equal balance. Is that a theory that makes sense at all to you guys? Do you foresee a possible idea like that, like a high buyout price target?
I don't. And maybe I may not be best to chime in here. I don't know. But I think it's going to be a stock deal more than a price deal. And I kind of touched base on this once or twice. You know, when Elon took over Twitter, he stated a price, $55. I believe that's what it was, something like that, $55. So the stock price went to 55, like what, 45, 50, somewhere in there. And so it went up. But if you do a stock deal where you trade shares of IEP for X amount of shares of Bed Bath & Beyond or BBBYQ right now, I think, you know, shorts then have to close. There is no true maximum it's going to go until the deal settles.
Right.
That's just my opinion. I think there's going to be personally, I think it's both. I think it's a cash and stock deal because Bed Bath & Beyond will need the cash to cover their debts, cover all their obligations, and a stock deal on top of that make shorts close, because before it goes to where the deal is done, which if it's a pipe type deal, it can go, you know, I'm just going to estimate 3 weeks or so. Shorts have to close in that time in order to know who are the true shareholders, so they know how many shares will go to Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm just using this as an example, not necessarily the way it would play out, but personally, that's kind of the direction that I would go if I was in it.
Let me just read this off. $2 from Mo Money. When stock goes up, Pete shows up in a wife beater. Love to hear it. All right, let's so AJ, do you have any other questions before we let you loose?
Yeah, I wish the best for all of us. You know, a lot of people have said when RC bought in initially that they saw his options as like a price target, you know, giving us a signal that 60 to 80 bucks was the price that it would end at. I hope we can get there again.
Same.
All right, man.
Yeah,
You heard it
well,
from fucking AJ. Let's get some
Later.
love in the chat for AJ, man. All right, take care.
Cheers, bro.